Hello, welcome to this week's social emotional episode. Once again, my name is Alex Umhire for those of you joining me today, and I'm so passionate about social emotional health and anything to do with mental and social health. That's the reason I make these videos and I record these episodes so that I know like one day it's gonna help somebody or it's helping somebody. I appreciate all the feedback that I had this week. I had many inboxes from some of my friends and some of the new people that I've just met on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Facebook. And I don't take that for granted. Again, I want to appreciate you for viewing and sharing my episodes. I have many shares, I have many views, and I do appreciate that. I don't take it for granted that I have people who can sit there watch what I have to say, even though I'm not an expert in anything, but I'm sharing my personal view and my personal experiences about life. So I want to appreciate you for that. One more good news this week, we had more subscribers on our YouTube channel. I can clap for that because it's not easy to get even a single subscriber. So I appreciate whoever went there to subscribe, and I appreciate those who are gonna subscribe more. Even if it's one person, it's really important for us. Yeah. So I got many inboxes and many questions about making priorities. Remember, our last week's episode was about making priorities, and I had many people come into my inboxes, especially when I touched about making priority vis-a-vis the age and reality factor. So one of my followers sent me an inbox, and she had questions about like making priorities and the age. So the questions she asked, like the major question she asked me was, what do I do? How do I avoid making mistakes as I make my priorities? So that's really something that I appreciate. So that drives me to today's episode. So today, arising from one of my followers' question that asks how avoid mistakes while making priorities. So today I want to share about making priorities, avoiding mistakes as we make priorities. Because most times when we decide to take some actions for some things, like when you make a decision to do something, we always put many things at aside. And yes, this is very good because you're trying to concentrate on one thing, but on the other hand, it may have some effects because you don't know how what that thing you're leaving behind, whether it would supplement on you achieving your priorities or not. Yeah, so today I want us to look into that. I want to make it really brief so that we can have the best of it. Yeah, so one mistake that we always do as we make priorities, especially in the youth age, I always find one mistake as codependency or like dependency on other people. So once you're making your priorities, remember this life you have is you feel it alone. You feel your life alone. There's nobody who's gonna feel the way you feel. There's nobody who knows what you're going through. There's nobody who is gonna uh, push your vision forward. Unless you, the owner of the vision, you take action. So what happens, like most times when we're making these decisions, we really wanna include many people, which is not bad, but the mistake comes when you wanna depend on people to achieve what you want. Because why do I call it a mistake? It's a mistake because these people don't bear your vision. They don't know what your priorities are. So the moment you want to trust your priorities and put them into hands of other people, you're now giving them a chance to dig into your life and make decisions for you. That, for example, we can as we're making like priorities, for example, with jobs, with families, with finances, If you have a job, that's very good. You have a job, which is very good. But as you make your priorities, you have to make sure that all your plans are not based on the job you're doing because you don't know tomorrow. Tomorrow you may wake up when that job is not there. So if that job stops, are you gonna stop your priorities? Is life gonna stop? No, life is not gonna stop. What you need on that job is maybe the finances push you ahead, but you don't have to plan everything, put all your eggs into one basket of that particular job, and when the job ends you feel like you've lost it in life. No, you make your priorities, but you don't have to be dependent or codependent on anyone or any place at any time. It's your plan, so you're the primary executor of your plan, and nobody's gonna do it best like you do. For example, if you start a business, you have a business idea. When you start it, you have to manage it, you have to take control of it. Otherwise, if you start a business, for example, like for us who live in the diaspora, we always want to do businesses back in Uganda, but we forget that businesses run on management and supervision. So you're the vision bearer. You're the vision bearer of that business. So it's gonna be hard for you to do that business when you're away because the people you're going to put in that business to run it, they don't bear your vision. They don't know where you want that company to be. Even if you tell it to them, even if you give them the strategic goals for your company, they are not going to execute them like when you are in place. So you're having a vision, you're putting it into other people's hands. That's very dangerous. And that's how many of us, especially those who live in the diaspora, that's how we get disappointed and we even lose interest in making any business back in Uganda. But then we start like complaining about people, or people are not trustworthy, people are bad, people mismanage our property. But the question is, do these people you give your property to manage, do they bear the vision? Are they the vision bearers of the business you started? So if they mismanage it, is it on them or it's on you? So it's on you trusting them too much with your vision, for which you cannot blame them when it fails. The blame all comes back to me because I'm the vision bearer. Yeah, so another problem we have with dependence and codependency is about trusting too much trust, which goes back to like the business example that I gave. Then there's also losing trust in people. There's nothing as dangerous as losing trust in people because all we do, like in this world, you need social capital in whatever you do. The people around you make who you are. So if you isolate from people, then most of your priorities are not going to be achieved because you're trying to live in an island. And remember, social capital is very important. Even whatever you do, whether you want connections, whether you want to be in business, because in business you need social capital, you need recommendations, marketplace recommendations from people that know your product. In life, you want opportunities, you want job opportunities. They're not gonna find you in an isolated place. You're gonna move out, go out, look out for other people, look out for people who have connections, connect with more and more people. So we need that in life. And then there's also something that people always, I hear it so much, but I've never like understood it. Somebody can help me. I always hear people say that if you wanna prosper in anything, you must make sure that you get friends who are better than you. But there's one thing that I've never had people explain. You tell me to get friends who are better than me. Yes. But my question is always, are those people that I want to make friends, are they ready to make friends with somebody who they are better than? Because everyone is looking at the top. So if I am a millionaire and I want to be a friend to a billionaire, is that really achievable? It's not. I cannot make them my friends. But what can I benefit from them? I can go to them and authentically ask for advice, they're gonna make give me that advice. Trust me. But me trying to make them my friends when I'm not on the same level with them, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult for me to achieve that because people wanna make friends with those they feel like they share many things in common. So I've always had like people advising others, like I had motivational speakers speak about that, but I've never understood saying like, oh, your friends, choose your friends wise, look for better friends, look for those who are better than you. But my friend, even those who are better than me don't want to associate with people they are better than. They don't want to hang out with people but they can advise people they are better than. So all I don't need to make people who are better than me my friends. I need to run to them for advice. But I have to keep my friends. So when I'm still within this range, maybe of income, I have to keep those friends there because life moves with social connections. You never know the person you want, the better person you want. You can meet that person through one of your friends. So that one I stand to be advised. Somebody may send in a comment and tell me, how do you make people who are better than you your friends? Other than starting referring to them as my rich guy, my rich auntie, my rich friend. That those are the terms you're gonna use because why are you using rich aunt? You're not gonna say my friend so and so. No, you're gonna use such terms to put them in their category, show that you maybe you're not in the same category with them. All right, so that's so trust, too much trust is bad, especially when you're the vision bearer. But again, losing trust in people, losing friends who you are in the same circle is also dangerous. You still need them. You never know where they can push you. You can take advice from them. This because you take advice. People advise you, even people who are better than you come in and advise you, but it all ends up with you. You're the decision maker. And when you make bad decisions, you're not going to blame them on anybody. So let's watch out for that as we make our priorities. Then, another thing that another mistake that we always encounter as we make our priorities is forgetting about our health. Many people always want to save a lot of money. They want to save money. They want to make the best of their time, but we forget that life has to keep moving. You want to save money, but you're spending the day hungry. What are the effects, the advanced effects of that? You're gonna run into other health complications, ulcers. So why would you save money when you're running into a permanent health problem? So as we make our priorities, we must make sure that our health is paramount. Our health must come first. And when I talk of health, I'm talking about it holistically, starting with your mental, with your social health, and the physical health. So make sure that you have at least time for you, for yourself, time to think about, after even not thinking about yourself, time to do nothing. My friend, it's very important to have time in your life when you're doing nothing, when you're thinking about nothing. That's what we call free time. That time is very important for you to rewind, to refresh your mind, to get into a space where you're not thinking about life. Because the life we're thinking about, we think about the life of tomorrow, but the life we have is today. Much as we make these priorities, we make 10-year programs, 20 years program, but it's very wrong for you to punish yourself for the priorities of tomorrow. You can just make few sacrifices here and there, but when it comes to anything that's going to affect your health, please, no. And no, that's not a good idea. In your schedule, you work too many days, you work too many hours. Tell me the point of working every day, Monday through Sunday. What's the point of working 16 hours a day, Monday through Sunday? Tell me. What kind of life are you working for? Are you sure the body you're draining like that, you're gonna have that body to achieve your future priorities? Are you sure you're gonna be healthy when you're working 16 hours every day for 7 days a week? Some of us don't even have time to sleep in our beds. We rent houses, especially those people who stay in the diaspora. We rent houses, but we never sleep in them. So, what is the point of life? What is the point of the priorities you're making? Who are you working for? I think you should be working as at the same time taking care of your health, knowing that I'm not a robot, I'm not a machine, my body needs rest. If I'm working too much, why don't I work for 6 days and spare like 1 day for myself and spend that day doing totally nothing? Are you gonna die for just missing the day of work out of the 7 days and you rest one? Is that the money that is gonna actually make you prosper, make you successful? Why don't you get time? Why don't you get 1 day, hang out? Your friends invite you for the parties, for birthday parties, and you're not going every time. You're giving an excuse. I have work, I have work. When will work ever stop? Work will never stop. So you must know that amidst making priorities, there is also life to live. Why do you have to live life? Because the life you have today, as you're making those priorities, is the only life you're guaranteed. The rest of the future, we work on assumption and imagination, but nobody knows what is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying that we shouldn't work for the future, but I'm saying make sure that yourself, your body today is fit to live tomorrow. Otherwise, if you punish your body today, that means you're reducing your chances of living tomorrow, however much you're saving and working for that. Then we have find time for that's what I call the me time, when you have actually nothing to do. You're not doing anything, just lying there. If it's lying in your couch, sit in the chair, raise your legs, relax, get your phone, call people, like do actually what you would term as nothing, and your life is gonna change, and you're gonna actually look at life positively. You're not gonna regret making any action. Then uh the last mistake that I have seen many people encounter or many people do is about making unrealistic goals. So making unrealistic goals are gonna run us into very many problems. First of all, you know your finances, you know your background, you know where you come from, you know everything that is happening in your life. So, what makes us make these unrealistic goals? It is number one is comparison. Most of us want to live a life of comparison. My neighbor has built a 5 bedroom house, therefore I also must build it. But you're forgetting your neighbor is earning 1 million, and for you you're earning 400,000 or 500,000. So there's no way you're gonna compare yourself to that person's income, and there's no way you're gonna have the rate of achievement or the rate of development at the same pace. So if you're earning 400,000, if you're earning 500,000, why don't you make your plans? If your neighbor who earns 1 million has built a 5 bedroom house, what's wrong with you starting with a 3 bedroom house? What's wrong with you having a 3 bedroom house because it's within your goals and you do it systematically? So comparison, like there's an English saying where they say comparison is the thief of joy, and indeed it is the thief of joy. So making realistic goals, first of all, you have to look into your finances. You must look at the other spending burdens that you have around you. When I talk of spending burdens, I'm looking at the responsibilities that you have, other responsibilities, necessary responsibilities that take away your income. You have children pay school fees for, you have parents take care of, you have businesses to run. So you're not gonna really run like the same as this person who has few responsibilities. who doesn't have kids, who does, and all their money is saved. Maybe they don't have any expense burdens around them. All their money, they can budget for it and save it and do something. So you must know what is the reality on your plate before you look into another person's plate. So that's very important. Then, as we set goals, most of us set, let's say, 5 year goals, 10-year goals. Personally, I always set 5 year goals. But when I set these 5 year goals, I have to make sure that I know what do I have to achieve every year. So, if I say, let's say, my 5 year target is, let's say, building uh, a $50,000 house. That's my 5 year target. So how do I achieve it? I'm not gonna wait for the 5 years, or I'm not gonna save up the money for the 5 years. Then when the 5 years elapse, then I start working. No, I'll start it systematically, one by one, because that's how you can easily realize your goals without stretching your mind. You do it in a very, very biteable portions that you can manage, still considering your finances and your capability in whatever you're doing. So, as we set these goals, we should remember that all our plans never work. If every plan was working, then nobody would be stressed, nobody would be depressed. It's just like if everyone had what they wanted, then I don't know that there will be no suffering in this world. If all our plans worked the way we wanted them, then there will be actually nothing to work for. But we plan and plans don't go our way. So what am I saying? I'm saying that if you have a small achievement within what you're doing, if you achieve something, please, if you achieve 50%, more than 50% of your original plans, you should take time and be happy for yourself, because there are other people who actually plan for 100 and achieve zero because of the different circumstances that happen. So if I had a plan of 100% and I get 75% and above, then I should celebrate. I should not look at the other remaining 20 or the remaining 10 as something to regret about. No, I'll be joyful. So I'll be happy. If my plan was save 10 million at the end of the year, and for some reasons I've saved 7 million, I'm gonna be so happy with myself. I'm gonna thump my chest and I'll be like, yeah, Alex, you made it, because it's not easy to achieve even the 70%. You just have to be grateful for the little success that you're making. However small it is, please, when you're grateful, the grateful heart always gets more. So, my friends, as I end up this session for today, I still want to call upon you, make those priorities, make those decisions. Don't calculate too much risks in making decisions, especially if they are gonna affect you in the future. It's the priorities you're making, just do them. If you're going into a business, go there. If you're going into a family relationship, go there. Don't look around and start thinking twice about making a decision. Remember, I still repeat my quote. It is good to regret making a bad decision rather than regretting not having made a decision. It's better to make a decision and it turns out bad rather than regretting having not made a decision. And lastly, please do not overthink. Do not overthink about tomorrow, about the future. Just be systematic, lay out your plans, but do not worry too much about tomorrow. Because even where you are today, you didn't know that you'll be there. So if you didn't know you'll be here where you are, you'll be who you are right now. Why would you have too much doubts? Why would you sit down there and be worried about the future? Oh, I'm so worried. I'm not achieving this. I'm worried about. No. Be patient. Take things step by step. And I guarantee you, you're going to live a happy life and you'll achieve much and much more. I thank you for listening to me for this episode. I know it's a little longer than the usual episodes, but this is all we dedicated to do. So our social emotional health matters, your mental health matters, and make sure you go make those priorities and make sure you achieve the best of it. I sign out. Have a great day.